decided that you were going to design your space? How did you approach that project?
First of all, this is like my first time in a public forum since this video, and I had no idea that it was going to get that reaction. So thank you so much. Very weird, but thank you. Thank you so much. No, I have always loved interiors, and really feel like I just fell in love with interiors when I first started to go to America, and I was living with my manager at the time, and his house, you walk in and it smells nice, and then you go and you sit on the couch and it feels nice, and everything is just kind of so thought out but not pretentious at all, and I'd never experienced a space like that before, and he had us over for a dinner party, and there was candles lit, and it was all of these little attention to, these little details that showed me that that's how he shows love to the people around him, is by hosting them in these, in his space that feels like his. And it just really got my brain going, and I fell in love with it all. And then when COVID happened and I was in Australia, and I just started spending way too much time on Pinterest, and kind of going deeper and deeper and deeper, and really starting to develop what I realized was my taste. And then it was that same creative process again of identifying a collaborator, because collaboration is if the creative process is here in my life, collaboration is directly below it, if not in line with it. I think it's the most pure joy in life is collaborating with people creatively. And I found Flack Studio and David Flack, and we started the process of designing this house. And again, it was that same thing where I feel like a chef or something like that, where it's you're adding a little bit of this and then you take away a bit of that, and it's all just based on gut feel. And now, when I'm walking on the street and someone recognizes me, 9 times out of 10, fuck the music. They want to talk about the house, and that's it. So I'm really flattered, and it's something that I definitely want to spend the rest of my life doing as well. Is I think just and I said this in the video, but I realized as well that I've done small versions of it my entire life. Whether it was buying a $15 candle from Target when I was there with my mum and bringing it into my room, and my room had a smell, that was so gay as well, which is hilarious. But
the signs were there.
But I really think that doing those little things and taking that time for yourself to create a space that makes you feel safe, that feels like yours, you're also signaling to other people. It's like any art. You're expressing yourself outwardly. And so, yeah, I love having people over. I love having dinner parties.
You're an entertainer.
I have pre-drinks almost every weekend. Yeah.
You got the Kick-On's house.
Not the Kick-On's house,
okay.
No, because I don't want anyone to spill shit on the couch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun house, and I live with my sister and her friend who was staying with us for a couple of weeks that now just full on lives with us, and it's a joyous place, and that's what I want. That's what my parents created for us as kids. They did not care about design or anything like that, but it was open door policy. Any friend at any time, eat the food in the fridge, and that's what I really have enjoyed creating for my friends and family, yeah.
That's so sick. And I noticed you have a few Australian contemporary artists.
Yeah.
You've got a Tom Polo, you've got a Ramesh.
Yeah, so that was really important to me as well, was, again, that idea of collaboration, and art completely can change a space, and being introduced to Australian artists and keeping it exclusively Australian art in the house, it just felt like another way to kind of, share all these different voices and kind of create this dream space for me that I felt represented me and the way that I grew up and where I grew up and everything. And I can't wait for my international friends to come to Australia, and I get to kind of show them how good Australian art is and how just how talented people are.
But I wanted to touch more on the creative process, because I feel like these days, it seems, when you talk to different artists about their creative process, most of them lament it. It feels like it's really infused with insecurity and anxiety. Is it done? Is it not done? It's very odd for me to hear that you enjoy the process. What is it about you that makes the process really enjoyable?
I think it's just like the best thing in the world. I think if there's one thing that I feel so lucky, like I don't really believe in God or anything like that, but if I believe that there was one thing that like the universe or whatever gave me, it was the gift of being able to just like keep myself entertained by making stuff. That's all I want to do for the rest of my life. And I think what I've realized is it doesn't really matter in what form it takes. So like, you know, for example, if I'm making a song in the studio or like pulling materials for designing a room because I really like interior design, and it's the same itch. 100% it scratches the same itch, and it's the same muscle. And figuring out that like that is the thing that makes me the happiest in the world, that has made me feel so like relaxed and stress-free. Because I think COVID as well was a big part of that. Like when the world shut down, and I didn't have any of the like nice, like fun events to go to, or like, the adrenaline of performing on stage and whatever. The fact that like immediately my natural reaction was to start making music again on like Logic on my laptop. I'm a terrible producer, terrible. But starting to kind of like figure that out, or I was like photoshopping photos and stuff. Like it reminded me of being 15 again and 14 again, and I was like, oh, this has been a constant in my life, and I think it's going to be for the rest of my life. And I don't know what it's going to look like. The other day I was like smelling things for something that I'm working on.
Okay.
Like all these essential oils and stuff.
Got it.
And we started to like mix and match the little scent cards, the ones that you like spray. And I was like making my own smells. And the creative process of that felt exactly the same as making music. You add one little element and suddenly it's changed completely, but then you pull it away a little bit and add it in just the right amount, and now suddenly it feels like self-aware and kind of cool that you're doing that. You know what I mean? And like, it's the thing that like keeps me going every day, and I feel so lucky to be able to do it. And I implore like absolutely everyone to find something creative that you enjoy doing, because it's just like, it's the best.
I would love to know how your perception of queerness, your own and generally, has evolved from, when you first recognized and came out to now.
I think for me, the word queerness means so much more than just any one person's identity. I think like when I say that I identify as queer, to me that's identifying my community and the people that I go through life with, and the people that I'm so proud to be able to call myself the same thing as those people. You know what I mean? And so that pride took a long time to, it went from like me being like, okay, I'm gay, but I remember when I first came out, I was like, I'm gay, but I'm not like gay. Like I just like boys or whatever, which is so dumb.
Lowercase gay.
Yeah. Like that makes no sense at all. But in my 12-year-old brain, it did. And now I think this is what like the homophobes are so afraid of. But it's a lifestyle, and it's like it's a community.
Not everyone fits
and
in the
it's like,
genre.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm proud, and I'm like I love it, and those are my friends, and those are my people, and those are my family, and we fight for each other, and we understand each other, and it's a really beautiful thing.
I was curious about how you kind of navigate your sense of style and self-expression kind of through the queer lens. As someone who's super gay and super femme, sometimes you can kind of try and subvert to the cliquiness of the queer society. It can be inclusive, but it can also be pretty exclusive. So we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Thank you, such a great question. I really think that I try to not care about any of those sort of like boxes, because I do catch myself thinking like, ooh, like I'm dressing like a tradie, but in like a self-aware way that it's like, you know what I mean? And
You're
I'm like,
subverting the norm.
yeah, I'm like getting all meta with myself, and I'm like, Troy, shut up, like just put on your clothes. But I think it's like whatever you feel cool in, and like, you know, even when it comes to like stereotypical gender roles and stuff, I was really curious. So to the Met Gala last year, I wore a dress, and I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna feel like I'm doing drag, or am I gonna feel really femme, and all of these things were totally okay. I was just excited to see how I was gonna feel, you know? Because I've worn dresses in private, but never in public. And so I was so surprised by how, like, first of all, empowered I felt. Second of all, I felt like, I don't know, I felt kind of hot. And I was like, I really felt like myself, you know? And it wasn't like a gendery thing or anything like that. I think it's like realizing that clothes are just yet another way to kind of like show the world who you are, and to play and to experiment. I wouldn't worry too much about like where everything fits, and just kind of like do what you feel cool in. And again, you look really, really, really cool. You look really cool.
Thank you so much.
No
and yeah,
worries.
you did look really hot at the Met Gala. So
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Her. And that brings us to, yeah, I think we cut it. We end on a high note. We bring the energy up and we end there. Thank you so much for giving us your Sunday night.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank
and
you.
Me.
Yeah, thank you. I'll give it up for Flex, everyone.
Yes. And give it up for Troy. Woo! 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 Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Have
you.
a fantastic life.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye.